You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys. And today, I'm really excited about today's podcast. We actually have a guest on the line. We're going to be talking about all things bookkeeping today, and really all things how to focus your business into 2022, how to make more money, how to measure your business, and really how to start growing a team, which is really going to be the theme of 2022. So from Cycle CPA, we've got none other than Carla Policastro joining us on line 2. So Carla, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hi, Brian. Thanks for having me on. I'm doing good.
Awesome. Well, we're blazing a trail into the new year already. We're hitting the ground running, and it's a really exciting time of year because a lot of folks have a little bit more time to focus on the business instead of just always doing the work. And so we're really excited about helping folks be in a position to win going into 2022 and working on the business instead of just in the business. And so one of the most common things I always hear about is I need a bookkeeper, right? And maybe it's the elephant in the room. Maybe it's the thorn in your guys' side. Maybe you have somebody there, but they're not really doing a good job, or maybe you're doing it and you just realize, this is not your specialty. Your specialty is in landscaping or hardscaping or mowing grass and getting customers, and you like the sales and marketing. But we all know that we do have to take care of the back end side of the business. So for me personally, hiring a bookkeeper was one of the best things that Liz and I ever did about 4 years ago now. So I'm really excited about having Carla on the line because she's going to get us up to speed about what a bookkeeper does, what they do at Cycle CPA. You're going to hear a lot about them over the next 3, 6, 12 months, and a new partnership that I'm going to tease that we're going to be linking up with these guys here that we'll announce here at the end of the show. So Carla, let's go back to you really quick. Get us up to speed with Cycle CPA. Who are you guys? Where are you guys from? And what does your company look like today?
Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you. So, Cycle CPA started a couple of years ago. And, how I started off was at a typical CPA. Worked at a local firm where we didn't really specialize in any industry. We kind of helped everybody under the sun. So I went from working from a restaurant to a construction clients' books and so on. So we really couldn't take a deep dive and really help these clients there. But because of the demographic and where I was, I ended up having a lot of landscaping, construction work clients under my belt. And I came across the same issues, over and over again. I don't know what my profit and loss means. I don't know how to make decisions based off of that. I'm having trouble estimating job costing. And so when I became aware of these recurring issues, I became really passionate about helping these clients with those issues and combating that. So after that, kind of branched off and worked at a larger CPA firm. And right after that, I knew that I wanted to open up a bookkeeping company that just specializes in the green industry. So that's how I got into that.
That's awesome. That's a really, really cool story. I love hearing how people, get their start. And I love how, hearing people's progression as well, of course, on our podcast. This is something that I'm really, really excited about. All right. I'll tell you guys straight up, like Carla and I and her husband, Joe, we've had a couple conversations already. We've kind of vetted each other over the last 45 days and had a couple meetings. And because I'm not just going to partner up with anybody. I respect you guys too much to just throw caution to the wind and just say hey, this is what we're doing. But that being said, I'm really, really excited about linking up with Cycle because I'll be honest with you guys, pretty much 1 out of every 3 coaching calls I do, the conversation is who's an accountant and who's your bookkeeper. And they just seem to be the reoccurring issue for so many people in the green industry and just small business ownership in general. And to be honest with you guys, what has changed the most in the last 4 or 5 years for my company, it wasn't like doing more work necessarily. It wasn't learning how to lay mulch better or cut grass better. I just was so back end office poor with my company. I wasn't treating it like a real business. We say like I probably had a $100,000 a year hobby, if you will. And so thanks to my friend Mike Bedell, and then building a team of professionals behind us, this really helped Liz and I catapult our lawn care company to levels that we never would have, imagined just 4 or 5 years ago. And I owe all of that to good bookkeepers, good CPAs, bankers, having professionals on our team. So that's why I'm really, really, really excited about partnering up with Cycle. And if you guys need a good bookkeeper, we're going to talk about that. If you guys, are looking to grow and your bookkeeper's maybe holding you back or not doing a good job or doesn't communicate very much with you, that's where I wanted to introduce these folks. Yeah, we're not going to do a hard pitch here or anything like that, but I just want to get the word out because like I said earlier, to go full circle, it's the off season for a lot of us. A lot of us want to grow in 2022. We need to build a team. We talked to Tom Wheelwright, who is just an incredible guy. He's the personal CPA for Robert Kiyosaki. And I asked him, he was on the podcast 2 years ago, and I said, Tom, what's the number one thing you would tell the younger you or your nephew? And he said, business is a team sport. Business is a team sport. And so that's what I'm really excited about, linking up with Cycle for. So, Carla, let's go back to you. Talking about all things bookkeeping, why do you think so many folks in the green industry or just self-employed people in general, why do you think that they struggle with bookkeeping and, QuickBooks? And why do you think they're always having the shoebox full of receipts and they don't really know their numbers? They don't really know what's going on with their company?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, Brian. And before I get into that, we're super excited to partner with you, Brian. And, I don't even do landscaping around my own house, but I like watching your videos. They're just great, full of great content. And so we're super excited on our end. And so
thank you.
No problem. So some of the issues that I see is that it's just scary. Like bookkeeping and accounting is scary. You need to set up a QuickBooks, and it's much easier just saving your receipts and putting that on the back burner and so on. So I think a lot of business owners are intimidated. They don't know where to get started. It's not easy. So people tend to go with what's easy, right? It's like, okay, I'm just going to save these receipts, bring this to my local CPA at the end of the year, and then I'll just be shocked of whether I made a profit or I made too little of a profit. I'm looking at historical information. And so that's really what we get at here is we maintain your books on a monthly basis and then send you your monthly financials so that you can keep tabs on, okay, this is my overhead expenses for this month. This is what I need to recoup in my estimates. It's not or this is my profit for January and so on. Because as you're informed of your numbers throughout the month, you can then pivot and you don't have to be, surprised at the end of the year. And so I think that's the number one thing. And also they don't want, maybe some clients, they don't even want to find out whether they're profitable or not, believe it or not. But, we make it easy here. We definitely give them that consultation too that comes with our bookkeeping is you can have your books up to date and you can have your numbers, but maybe then you don't know how to interpret them. And that's where we come into play too, where we benchmark the numbers and keep track of other key performance indicators to really relay that to the business owners and what that means in terms of profitability, productivity out in the field, or even equipment costs.
That right there is so much that I just want to unpackage for a few minutes because now you're getting me all fired up. I love what you said about like the numbers tell the real story. That's the truth. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Right. And so heard that one a long time ago. That was a good one. And that's the thing too. Like so many of us, myself included, I'm just going to talk frankly about my business the first 10, 11 years. We were doing the work. We were, out there every day, 8 to 5. I mean, gosh, 8 to 6 days a week. I always used to just hustle, but we were never getting ahead. It's like I kind of figured maybe something was wrong after 10 years. Hopefully you guys don't spend 10 years, spinning the wheels in the mud. But if you think you're doing the work and you think you're doing the right things, but the numbers tell a different story. And so I was, just to be totally honest with you, I was afraid, just like you guys probably listening in, if you don't have a bookkeeper. I was embarrassed because I'm going on year 10, year 11, year 12, and I feel like I'm in year 2 or 3 or 4. And so maybe you got a bookkeeper and, this is like, just kind of, right off the bat, you incorporated, you got an LLC and you had a friend that did your bookkeeping and you're like one of the unicorns out there that just had great books from the beginning. I've just personally realized that probably 8 out of 10 people, 9 out of 10 people that I talk to in the green industry, they just don't really know where their numbers are at. And I owe such a debt of gratitude to my friend Mike Bedell that kind of grabbed me by the football helmet. You guys know my story. And he said, hey, you have to get a hold of this thing. You have to treat it like a real business. And I would just say things and Mike would be like, that's not a real answer. He goes, you need to know your numbers. You need to, you guys have heard that 1,000 times, so you're probably nauseous, hearing it again. Know your numbers, right? And one other quick story I just wanted to relate, Carla, because when Liz and I hired a bookkeeper 4 years ago, Liz, I literally remember her saying, she goes, we were embarrassed. She was like, they're going to know how much money we make or how much money we don't make or how profitable our business is or how not profitable, I guess you could say, things were going at the time. And I said, if we just keep up on this same fake it till you make it or whatever people want to call it, I said, it's not making anybody better. And so I said, we have to let somebody in. We have to let an external force in. We have to have somebody on our team that's looking over our shoulder, or frankly, somebody who's the conductor of this engine that can pull everything together. And I've heard people say, what gets measured gets improved. So Carla, what have you noticed that with some of the folks that you guys take on, or just business ownership in general? For like you said, your career here, noticing that people are running a business and maybe they don't have everything all figured out. Are they nervous hiring a bookkeeper, or what have you guys seen out there?
Yeah, no, that's very true, and I feel like every client that we have had, 9 out of 10 need cleanup and catch up work.
Okay.
And need cleaning up, the books. And whether you're just starting off or even an established business, I've seen crazy things in people's QuickBooks, but we're there because we want to get you up to date and, moving forward, maintain with your books. That way you can rely on those books so that you can make informed decisions. So you're definitely not alone if you're someone that needs any cleanup or catch-up work from a bookkeeping or QuickBooks standpoint. But once you have that financial foundation and your books are clean and they're caught up, then we're able to, like you said, we're able to interpret those numbers with you. And when we have our meetings with our clients, we say, okay, these are the top things where we see you're lacking in. So maybe, Brian, you're overspending on materials, or your efficiency for labor is a little off track. So we set those goals, we measure them, and then we follow up with you about them in our next meeting that we have with your business. So, of course, we're doing, accurate bookkeeping and accounting work, but also relaying that information to have some measurable goals for you.
That right there is really exciting to hear. So you guys aren't just categorizing the transactions in QuickBooks, right? That's what a lot of people. Right. That's what a lot of people think a bookkeeper is, and it's for a couple $100 a month, they're like keeping my books clean, which is great. That is so critical. It's not even funny. But having somebody on your bench, somebody on your team, that's a good bookkeeper. what does that mean, for somebody running their business month in, month out, Carla? So we're measuring things. We're having a budget. We're having quarterly meetings. What does that look like from Cycle CPA, and what do you guys offer?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you're someone that's just starting out and just getting started with your business, or maybe you're in business for a couple of years, we have the monthly bookkeeping that we do, and we'll send you your monthly financial statements, which includes the profit and loss, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. And then we meet with you on a quarterly basis, and we go over benchmarking. So we'll benchmark your business against other businesses within your service line. So, for example, if you do design build, we'll benchmark it against those numbers, like, okay, these are the areas where we need to focus on. We also measure other key performance indicators such as overhead rates per hour, revenue per employee per hour, sales KPIs. We calculate your break-even point, all of these items during those quarterly meetings. But if you are more of an established business or have been in business for a few years, then we'll meet with you on a monthly basis, and we'll go over your, we'll implement a rolling budget for you that we'll go over every month. And then we also do, so a step up from that, we do a CFO package as well, where we can be your fully, your full accounting department, outsourced accounting department on that end.
That's
really
once
cool. We meet with, yeah. And another thing that I wanted to mention, Brian, is like the clients that I've seen come on, the ones that do take our feedback and measurable goals, they've been with us for a year or so. They have seen an improvement in their net income by 5 to 10%.
Wow. It's almost like paying for itself without sounding too cheesy here. It's like the investment into, I'll tell you what, like I get so fired up about this topic because I couldn't even tell you where we were at in our business 4 years ago. That's my point. Like, you guys have heard me do, half dozen podcasts now talking about the GPS, and if you're leaving from California to New York, and we're trying to figure out, where we're going. If you don't have a good bookkeeper and a good accountant, like that's the tag team duo with, the Trinity is with the payroll person. But if you don't know these numbers, if you don't have the data in front of you, you're kind of flying blind. And I did a podcast, Carla, talking about if you're flying an airplane, line of sight is like the first level of being a pilot. And that was my first decade in business. We were just cutting grass, making money. We kind of had enough to pay our bills, kind of had enough to like eat food. But we weren't banking 10, 20, 40, 50, $100,000 a year. And then I talk about on this other podcast episode, Don't Crash the Plane. It was when you want to become an instrument rated pilot and you want to learn the gauges, the clusters, the numbers, and if clouds move in or you're flying at night and you can't fly by line of sight, that's what a good bookkeeper is. That's what a team does, is you can run your business by the numbers alone, not emotional, not by feelings but by what you see. That's the difference with having a good bookkeeper and having those instruments in front of you, that your numbers in front of you. So I call it being an instrument rated pilot. So that was probably the biggest change for us was having a good bookkeeper. And I just want to just keep driving the point home, guys, because here's the thing. So many of you guys keep asking me, hey, who's a good bookkeeper? Do you have somebody we can refer? And I've been trying for a year to just scour, the earth, looking for somebody that we could link up with, that I could send you guys to, that I feel that you guys can grow with. And so that is the exciting part too, is that with Cycle, there's different tiers that you can sign up for. Just like any service, there's a starter package, there's an essentials package, an advanced package, so on and so forth. And that's just how it works with almost any service. I mean, that's how it works with my CPA. And so, Carla, I just want to kind of go through that really quick, because that's probably the elephant in the room conversation. How much does it cost, and what's my investment? And we're running businesses here. Businesses cost money. And by the way, I always say on the podcast, good professionals don't cost you money. They make and save you more money than you're spending on them. That's the point. So besides compliance, These people are here to look over your shoulder and make sure that your business is running correctly. And compliance is a huge one outside of just getting audited. But number two, we want to make sure that we're having people on our team that can help us to make more money. So a lot of words to say. Carla, can you take us through the different packages and what you guys do offer, that if these guys were interested in signing up or giving you a call and learning about what you guys offer, can we give them the lay of the land here just so they have some information beforehand?
Yeah, of course, Brian. So our starter package starts at $249 per month. And again, that's like if you're just starting out, or you may have one employee and you need your bookkeeping up to date on a monthly basis, your monthly financials and your quarterly meetings. And then the essentials package is $290 per month. In essence, it's the same thing, but you may be already a couple of years in business and have a couple of more or a few more employees. And then the essentials package is in essence the same, but instead you're going to have a monthly meeting and a rolling budget as well. And then, so that one's $540. And then our largest package is the $1,100 per month, and that's the CFO package. And like I mentioned before, we could be your fully outsourced accounting department plus the CFO level of service as well.
So basically anywhere from $249 a month, just like an on-ramp if you guys are just getting started, which is, by the way, totally normal, like industry kind of rates, if you guys will. I've looked around, talked to a lot of folks. What are you guys paying for? What are you guys getting charged and stuff like that? And I just want to make sure that these guys are on the same wavelengths for providing you guys service for a pretty affordable rate. So $249, just getting signed up. Essentials, a little bit more if it's you and a guy, you and two people. And then grows from there, just to reiterate, an advanced package where, that's the cool thing about just the world we're living in, like through contractors or Upwork or having virtual assistants, or you don't need to bring, my gosh, I don't even want to know the base salary, for a good accountant. It's probably $40,000 to $60,000 for the freshie out of college, So unless you're running a $1.5 million company or above, you're probably not having an on-staff accountant or CFO just yet. And so that's where outsourcing comes into play. And for $250, $300, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, you can have a full service accountant and bookkeeper, I should say, helping you guys grow your company. So what do you guys notice out there, Carla? What do most people take you guys up on for your offer? What do most people sign up for? What package? Just curious.
Yeah, a lot of people, so we either do the essentials package, where it's the monthly bookkeeping, monthly rec, and the quarterly meetings, or the advanced package with the monthly meetings and the rolling budget.
Sure.
Or if they just sign up with the essentials, eventually they're like, okay, we want to meet with you guys every month. So let's get this rolling.
Yeah.
So, they eventually graduate because they see the value in the meetings.
That's awesome. Well, and that's something that, not to beat a dead horse, guys, you can already, read the writing on the wall. If you're looking for a bookkeeper, I can't, speak highly enough of these guys. By the way, go to their Instagram page. It's Cycle CPA, Cycle, let me look it up really quick, _ CPA. And I will tell you, like, just looking at their posts, the last 4 or 5 posts, I'm sharing them like crazy because it's like stuff that we say all the time on the podcast, or when I have John Pajak on the podcast or Mike Bedell on the podcast talking about net profit and owner salary and knowing your numbers, and just hearing some great customer testimonies, if you will, from clients that are a part of CPA, Cycle CPA. It's really, really refreshing. I'm getting like really excited about this because now I can finally point you guys to somebody that I can just have total confidence with, that they're going to help you guys out with your books, help you grow, and help you guys put together a team. And again, if you want to make more money in 2022, we all got to work hard. We all got to put the hours in. We got to produce. There's no doubt about it. But I want you guys to do everything intentionally, like profitably. I want us to know where our numbers are at and whether or not we're actually making money. And so I'm I can't tell you guys anymore, honestly. Like, having a bookkeeper was probably the number one thing that changed the trajectory of not only my first company, but then this media company thing that we built in the last few years too, where I actually know what the heck is going on with our numbers. So I don't want to beat a dead horse or be too firm, sounding on this podcast. I want to kind of keep it lighthearted. It's the off season, but if you guys are struggling, if you guys are coming up, it's tax time in the next couple months here, and you have the Nike shoebox full of receipts, and you're spreading out the 20 receipts in like a semicircle, and you got the gas receipt pile and the lawnmower blades equipment pile and the marketing pile and 20 other different piles, all right? I've been there. I've been there longer than probably anybody listening to the show, for 10, 12 years. And I just remember, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago, Liz and I were able to print out all of our reports, and we can just give them all to our CPA. And he was able to just do what he needed to do. And I didn't have to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in extra fees with our CPA to get my books cleaned up, because he had to make sense of it all, right? So I know I sound a little excited about it, and I know maybe bookkeeping is not like the new lawnmower purchase or the new backpack blower that just got released at Expo, but don't make it any trivial part of your business either, though. I mean, it's a very, very important part to have good books and to have everything in order and to have your financials in front of you. The last thing I'll just quickly say is, I was talking to my friend Mike Bedell about a month ago, and we were just talking numbers and business, and I was able to pull up my QuickBooks and just show him real time what our company was doing. And he's like, "That's what you're doing this year?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was all excited for me. I was excited, like, we're winning, together. And I'm like, "Dude, this is so cool." And 4 years ago, that just wasn't the conversation, which is just embarrassing. But it is what it is. And so we had to do a hard right. We had to get our stuff in order. I really, really encourage you guys, take the next 30, 60, 90 days before we all get back out there in March, April, May, and the season really starts going gangbusters. And let's get this all figured out now. So Carla, that's my rant. Anything you want to add, like kind of open mic here, but this just gets me all fired up.
Yeah, no, that's some great points, Brian. Just something to leave the audience with is, whether you're looking to outsource your bookkeeping or not, it's really important that you do keep your books up to date at least monthly, and so that way you're not surprised at the end of the year, and you have that financial roadmap in place for 2022, especially as you grow and scale the business, and you incur more of those overhead costs with fixed costs. It's important to keep tabs on them as you go, because I've seen people get into trouble with those as they scale, and it's sometimes it's hard to back out of those items, and also for compliance purposes, in case you get into an audit, and also right now we're approaching tax season, it's important to get your books up to date. And I encourage everybody to visit our YouTube page, Cycle CPA. Have a lot of great content out there for anyone who may be behind on their QuickBooks cleanup or needs more instruction on bookkeeping or even interpreting numbers. And there's a lot of free content out there on our end. So, but it was so nice talking with you today, Brian.
Yeah, no, and you know what? We're going to have you guys on the show more in the next couple weeks and months, because we're linking up. This isn't a one and done, just so you guys know. You're going to hear a lot more about Cycle, because I genuinely telling you guys straight up, nothing has been more transformative for Liz and I, for our business, than to know our numbers. And we're not perfect. There's still a lot I got to learn, but I get the data. I look at it monthly, if not probably every 2 weeks now. And that just wasn't a conversation a couple years ago. Again, we're all really good at doing the work, but you guys owe it to yourself to make sure that the back end office is getting done. We have to know our receivables. We have to know what our cash flow is. We need to have proper documentation. So many people, the last 18 months were denied the PPP loans, or just didn't even bother taking advantage of them because they didn't have proper documentation to even qualify to get the extra funds and this, I don't call it free money, but these funds that were out there to help some of us during, times of uncertainty. And so I really, really implore you guys to go down the rabbit hole, learn more about bookkeeping. Maybe it's not the most fun topic, but it can be very, very fun if you start realizing that the money that you're not making or the money you will be making is in those details. It's in the details of your books. And when you really realize that, instead of charging out the door to go lay another 10 yards of mulch, you might realize that spending 20, 30 extra minutes in the office pays a bigger dividend than you going out there and doing back-breaking work, slinging 10 yards of mulch, because you just want to out-earn the problem. I promise you this, guys, you will not out-earn the financial problem without having good bookkeeping and a good business team to help you get there. I'm just telling you guys straight up. There's like the unfiltered, no BS kind of stuff right now. I've heard people say more people dig their financial grave with their wallet than they do anything else. And most businesses fail not because they don't have a cool product or a cool widget or great marketing. They just fail because somebody wasn't paying attention to the numbers and i.e. taxes. And we don't want to see you guys have any of those issues. We want to see you guys run. We want to see you guys just crush it. We want to see you guys go 100 miles an hour doing what you guys do. Have somebody on your team that can go 100 miles an hour doing the stuff you don't want to do, which for most of us is probably the bookkeeping work. Fair enough. So that's my soapbox. But I'm telling you guys, I'm really, really excited about having these guys on the show. We're gonna have some other different podcast topics. We've already been brainstorming some different things we can talk about for another 20, 30 minutes. Having Carla back on a couple times to really give you guys some more information to grow your business intelligently and intentionally in 2022. So, Carla, really quick. I teased a little sign-up bonus because, but wait, there's more. So for anybody that did want to sign up with you guys, you can literally sign up on the website. You can also give these guys a phone call or shoot them an DM or an email or send a carrier pigeon. I don't care. Just get in touch with them. But for signing up with Brian's Law Maintenance and the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast, I think we have a $200 off or $200 credit, if you will, towards signing up. And that could go to your first month of service, or if you have to kind of go back 3, 6, 12 months to kind of clean up your books. When I actually hired a bookkeeper, I had to do that. So it was already the monthly investment to sign up, but then it cost me a couple $100 to, get my books cleaned up. And that might be typical with some of us signing up. Let's just be honest. Let's also treat these guys as professionals. They have a lot of time. They got to clean up all of our crap that we've been neglecting. So is it, am I correct? It's a $200 credit or sign up bonus when they go with you guys after they mention Brian's Law Maintenance?
Yes, exactly. And like you said, it could go towards their, first month of bookkeeping or cleanup work if needed. Yes.
Awesome. Now, where can people find you guys if they want to get more information and they do want to sign up and have a quick little consultation and see if they're all on the same page with you guys, and if they want to sign up and go down the rabbit hole, where can they find you guys?
Yeah. On our website, cyclecpa.com, CYCLE CPA.com, or they can reach us through our Facebook group called Landscaping Accountant and shoot us a quick DM there. Either one of those options is fine.
Can they send you guys a carrier pigeon to the office if that okay too?
If they can find
that's the low tech way of doing it, right? But
have a little Harry Potter moment there.
right. Well, now you're talking my wife's language for sure. But guys, I'll say this: I've had a really good about an hour long powwow with Joe and Carla, and I was just telling them straight up. I'm like, here's what our industry needs. Here's what the people that I get to share with every day. Here's what they have going on, which is great. Here's what I feel like some folks are struggling with. And we had a really fun conversation. I mean, I really, really, really respect you guys. I really value you guys. I don't want to, take you guys for granted with anything that we ever offer or mention or market or promote. I mean, we're way beyond that. We've never really been about that. I want to make sure that the people we partner up with and we link up with have your guys' best interest in mind. It's always others focused, and we want to make sure that we're linking up with good people. In my opinion, Carla and Joe, they're good people. Okay, these are class act folks. We were pitching and catching. We were having a good conversation. We were all on the same wavelength. We were all on the same frequency with their mission statement, with our mission statement. And by the way, they I don't really know how to say this the best way, but Carla she can speak Spanish. She worked with a lot of Hispanic folks. She is bilingual. So if you guys, maybe your parents are running a business and they're, Hispanic or something like that, then she can work with them still to help them out. Like, it's a really, really cool opportunity that I don't want you guys to take for granted, somebody of this caliber. Okay. So, Carla, is that fair enough, or anything else you want to add really quick as we wrap this up?
Yep. No, that's great.
Awesome. All right. Well, we really, really appreciate your time. We're just at about a half hour, so I want to make sure I respect your time and your calendar too. I know you guys are busy working professionals. For me personally, I just got done plowing snow for about 14 hours, so I'm about to go take a nap. But I'm just but you know what? It's nice knowing that I can sleep well and making sure that having somebody take care of my books behind the scenes. That's what it's all about. So, guys, we'll make sure to leave Cycle CPA's info in the show notes. We'll leave their an email for you guys to connect with them. Guys, here's the thing. Anytime you listen to anytime from anybody, the where the rubber meets the road is the execution. It's the call to action. It's the action moment, right? Pick up the phone, give these guys a shout. Okay. If you are in the next 3 weeks going to be looking over a shoebox full of receipts, make a decision that you'll never have to deal with that kind of garbage ever again. And I say that with sincerity, with love, because every year I dreaded it more and more. And as the revenue went up and as the responsibilities went up and the mess was getting bigger, I just was like, all the dam had different holes in it. I'm poking it with all 10 fingers to close up all these little water jets that are shooting out. And eventually this dam is going to break. And thank God we hired good bookkeepers to get our business growing. Okay. That's what I pray over you guys. Just make a call, give them a shout, see if they're a good fit for you. See if they're a good fit for your business. See if you guys have good chemistry. And if so, link up with them, partner up with them, and make 2022 your best year ever, not just because of the work you're going to do, but because of the money you're going to be making. And that's why we all run businesses. Okay. We're leaving our families to make money and trade our time for money. Let's make sure that we're actually making good profit if we're going to do all this work anyway. Okay. So that's what I got. Carla, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy afternoon to join us on the show. We super appreciate you.
No problem, Brian. Thank you for having me on. It's been great.
Awesome, girl. All right. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you again here soon. I know we're going to have you back on probably once a month through, January through April before we really get out there. That way we can get you guys all the best info to help you guys with growing your business and making sure that you guys know your numbers and actually, like Carla said, deciphering those numbers and what they actually mean. And so we can help you guys grow the most profitable business ever. So guys, that's what we got here on today's episode. Just a short and sweet one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we look forward to catching up with all of you guys here on the next one.
What a super informative show today, and I most certainly will put Carla's contact info in the show notes. Now, pay attention to this. When you use our code Brian, not Brian's 10, but just Brian, spelled with an I, that will save you $200 when you sign up with their services. You can either apply that towards the first month of bookkeeping or to the cleaning up fees when they have to go back 6 to 12 months to get your books in order. Now, you can enter that code on their main page, the main page of their website where they have the submission form, or just mention Brian's Lawn Maintenance when you reach out to Cycle through their socials, which will also be in the show notes. Now, by the way, Carla and her husband Joseph are extending to all Fullerton Unfiltered podcast listeners the opportunity to attend a free webinar coming up Tuesday, January the 27th, 7 p.m. It's called Landscaping Business Cash Flow Management and Accounting Best Practices. Yeah, I know it maybe isn't the sexiest of titles, but it is sexy when you make sure that more of your money is staying with you. Now, with Carla and Joe's experience of working with dozens of landscape businesses across the country, they're going to provide you guys with some actionable advice and guidance about cash flow management and forecasting. They will also show you an accounting plan that provides a foundation for profitability in 2022. Landscaping business, cash flow management, and accounting best practices, a free webinar Tuesday, the 27th of this month, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Let me remind you, there is a limited amount of seating, a limited availability, so go ahead and register right away using the special link that we have set up for you in the description. I'm Mr. Producer, thanking you guys for listening, and we will catch you on Friday's podcast.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.